Want to know why Alabama QB Ty Simpson completed only 54% of his throws against Auburn and threw for just 122 yards in that Iron Bowl? Well, there's a couple reasons for that, and I'm going to break those down in today's show. This is QB Unfiltered, my take. It wasn't pretty, either was Ty Simpson, but when they needed him to step up, he did it one more time.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.
All right, this video is going to be an analysis of quarterback Ty Simpson's performance in the Iron Bowl Saturday night against Auburn. I'm also going to tell you why, in my opinion, I think offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb did not help Simpson out a lot of times with pass protection schemes. And then we're going to discuss that fourth down call by DeBoer in the fourth quarter where he nixed the field goal and went for the throat. As always, like and share out this video. It really helps my channel out a bunch. And subscribe to QB Unfiltered. I greatly appreciate the support. Okay, in Alabama's 27-20 win against Auburn Saturday night, Simpson was 19 for 35. That's only 54.2%. He threw for just 122 yards. He tossed 3 big touchdowns and had 0 turnovers. He also had a couple of really big runs for the Crimson Tide and a couple of real interesting runs as well. And in this game, Simpson made one of the prettiest throws that I've seen from any quarterback in college football this season. I'll break that down later on. But once again, and this has happened on a few times this season. I did a show on the South Carolina-Alabama game when DeBoer and Grubb and the Crimson Tide needed Ty Simpson to step up and make throws and make plays. He did it one more time in this game on that 4th and 2 call in the fourth quarter for the game-winning touchdown. And so this game was not a thing of beauty by any stretch of the imagination. And with that being said, let's jump right into the game clips. All right, that leads us to Ty Simpson's best throw of the game. It's first quarter, it's 3rd and 4. Bama's in a 2-by-2 formation, and they run zip motion to receiver Horton from the right side. Zip motion means he's going to run short motion in towards the tackle, and they're going to snap the ball while he's still on that same side of the field. All right, so that's what they've got going on. Auburn's in 32 double ghost, and they're playing cover 0, but they screw up Alabama's protection here because they bring 6 guys. They're showing that they're bringing 7, but on the snap of the ball, they bring 6. So they take this inside linebacker who's walked up over the left guard, who Bama's expecting to come, and he bails on the snap. So they're bringing 6. Now, here's the problem. Alabama's blocking 6 on 6, except the left guard isn't blocking anybody. So that's always an issue for the offensive line and pass protection. And then they've got a numbers problem on the right side. Now, I don't think they blocked this right on the right side. If you've got to choose between blocking a guy that's coming B gap or A gap versus a guy that's coming off the edge into C gap, block the guy that's coming A or B gap and let the C gap guy run because he's got further to go to get to the quarterback. Alabama, however, does it the other way. So they're blocking the C gap guy and they're letting this B gap rusher come unblocked. The other problem that Alabama has is I think that what they're anticipating as being a blitz beater for them is the number 1 receiver to the left side is running a shallow cross. So I think what Simpson is thinking on the snap of the ball, I'm just going to rise up. They bring both those backers in the box. There's nobody there. My guy wins that shallow cross. I just rise up and throw it, and we got something going on. But that linebacker, when he bails out on the snap of the ball, he gets in the way of that shallow cross and slows him down and makes the route go around him. And I think that messed up Ty Simpson's timing on this. It also took his eyes off of that to take it downfield and try to find somebody else. The problem is you've got this guy coming B gap who's unblocked. So Ty Simpson has to buy some time. Horton, after that zip motion on the snap of the ball, is running a crosser, a deep crosser across the back line in the end zone. He makes the DB miss on the reroute. So Horton's running now pretty much free with that guy trailing behind him. Simpson buys time. He's fading back. He finds Horton with guys in his grill and delivers an absolute dime in stride, on the money, the back of the end zone to Horton, who gets away with a little bit of a push off as the ball gets there, which isn't called. But this is all Ty Simpson. All right, this is a 6-yard touchdown pass. This is Ty Simpson's best throw of the game. All right, we move now to the second quarter. It's 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Bama's in a double tight with a wing left, and they take receiver Horton from the right side, and they motion him now into the backfield and stop him right behind Simpson. So Simpson's under center, and Bama's in a modified I formation here. Now, this play is tough as hell for the defense to stop, right? Because you're showing run with the formation, and then you're showing run action on the snap of the ball. And those guys that may be playing man-to-man and probably are on the tight ends and Horton, those guys have to think run first and then try to react to what actually is happening. Now, Auburn's in this kind of a funky 40 front, and I think they've only got one DB on the field, and that's the guy lined up over Horton. Now, when Bama snaps the ball and we start to run this play, I want you to count how many of Bama's tight ends and wings are running their routes with nobody playing them. All 3 dudes are running by themselves. In fact, the only guy that's almost covered on this play is the guy that catches the touchdown pass, Horton. So like I said, this is a nice little scheme. So they're showing run action, and now they take that wing guy to the left, and he's running a rub route crosser where he's running right at the guy responsible for playing Horton man-to-man, and he's making that guy slow down and either bubble over the top or come underneath to chase Horton, which is exactly, what happens. And Horton's running by himself. I think Simpson here, we're going to talk about this a lot in this video. I'm not sure he's real confident that his running back's going to do the job with pass protection. So instead of setting his feet and delivering the throw that way, he fades back and throws it off his back foot. But man, he lofts a nice, soft little spiral right into Horton for the touchdown. All right, now this stuff, a version of this happened all night long. Okay, it's second quarter, it's 3rd and 6. Bama's in trips right. They've got the tight end to the left, okay, and Auburn's running what I call a 4-2 triangle, meaning 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers in the box over the guards, and they've got a 3rd linebacker that's standing behind those 2 linebackers in a triangle formation, and he's the point guy, 4-2 triangle, and they're playing cover 0. Okay, Auburn brings 7 dudes, and Bama keeps the tight end into block with the back, so they've got 7 blockers. It's 7 on 7. And when you watch the tape here, they got everybody blocked up. They've got a hat on a hat except the running back. Now, I've done 2 shows this year on Alabama, and I know for sure in one of those I talked about how well Alabama's running backs pass block. And guys, I'm just going to say this. You've heard me say this before in other videos. Pass blocking at the running back position is a matter of want to, meaning you got to want to do it. And most running backs aren't real interested in pass blocking, which kills the passing game. I mean, it kills it. Okay. And so I think Alabama's running backs in this game hurt them consistently throughout the game with effort on pass protection, but mainly technique on pass protection. Okay, so the running back's horrible here. He doesn't touch anybody. The tight end who's staying into pass block initially does a good job and then starts to get too extended and leaning forward. Now he's eventually getting beat. The guy that runs right past the running back forces Simpson now to bail out and roll to his left. And now the guy that's beating the tight end is making Simpson stop his feet, flip his hips, and try to get the ball out. Now, this is a scary situation for a quarterback and a quarterback coach. As Simpson flips his hips to throw the ball and he starts to stride, and you've got a lot of torque and energy from Ty Simpson going forward in the direction that he's going to throw it, the guy that slides off the tight end as he runs by Simpson to his left, takes his left hand And as Simpson has all of that energy going forward, he hits him in the chest with that left hand and stops him suddenly. And I've seen, in my coaching career, I've seen some quarterbacks blow their knees out on hits exactly like that, where their momentum is suddenly stopped so violently that it does damage to their lower body, their knees. So, this is a scary situation. It ends up where the ball's bouncing around on the ground, incomplete pass, but shouldn't have happened. They had 7 guys blocking 7 dudes and didn't get it done. All right, that leads us now to Ty Simpson's third best throw of the game. It's third quarter, 3rd and 6. Bama is in trips right, and Auburn's running a 4-1 over, meaning 4 down linemen instead of a middle linebacker. Now they've got him slid over a guard, and they're playing a ghost to the side of the trips, and that ghost now is going to lock up on the snap and play man-to-man on the number 3 receiver. And they line up in a 2-deep look behind it, but before the ball snapped, they stem now to cover 1, man free, 1 safety in the middle of the field. And that stem with those 2 safety looks, one of those safeties is a big ass safety. So they start to walk him down, and they bring him on the snap. And he's coming to B gap to Simpson's left side. Now, Bama pass protection is running what we call bob and sort protection. So they're bobbing left and they're sorting right. Bob is man and sort is zone or gap. Okay. So they're manning it on the left and they're gapping it on the right. Okay, I have a question with this. I've had it all season long. I just don't get it. I know why you're bringing a tight end down to chip block on the 6 technique to help the tackle out in pass protection. But, to chip on that 6 and then release the tight end into the route, that's just a wasted guy because he's not going to do anything. It's too slow. If you need to give your tackle help, just line your tight end up as a tight end or a tight wing and just keep his ass in to pass block. Okay, so Bama's got a problem on the Bob side here because that big-ass safety that started stemming down on the snap of the ball is coming on basically a 14-yard downhill sprint at Ty Simpson. And as we talked about earlier, they've got a numbers problem here. And as we talked about earlier, they've got a problem because Bama's blocking 6, Auburn's bringing 6, but Auburn has 1 guy coming unblocked and Alabama has 1 offensive lineman not blocking anybody. That's an issue. Okay, Bama's running a diagonal vertical with the number 1 receiver, and they're running a crosser with the single receiver. Okay, now I'm only going to say this one time in this video because Ty Simpson is in the wrong pre-snap staggered stance. He has to take an extra step on his drop. So instead of taking a 5-step drop here, he takes a 6-step drop. Now, guys, anytime that you're having issues with pressure, with pass protection issues, with situations where you're throwing the ball off your back foot or you've got guys in your face when you're throwing the ball, it would make sense to me that you would want to have clean feet with your drop so you can get the ball out of your hand on time. So when you've got a 5-step drop, but you're taking 6 steps, and then if you're doing any other thing to waste time, that causes problems for Ty Simpson, for any quarterback. Well, he takes a 6-step drop here, but then he absolutely dimes this crossing route as he gets blown up by that big-ass safety. This is a hell of a throw. This is his 3rd best of the game. And we move to the next one. And again, a pass pro bust. 3rd quarter, 1st and 10. Bama's in basically a double tight end with 2 receivers to the left, okay? And Auburn's running a 4-2 wide, meaning 4 down linemen, and instead of 2 backers over the guards in the box, they've got them out wide over the offensive tackles. And they're playing cover 3. Bama's running bob left, sort right protection. So they've got a 3-man sort going to the right. And, this happened more than once in this game. The center gets beat to A-gap. He's got the A-gap sort, to his side, to that sort side. He's responsible for anybody coming A-gap, and he gets beat A-gap. They're running a twist with that wide stack backer and the 3 technique, the down lineman for Auburn. Alabama is running a mesh with the running back and the right tight end, so they're meshing it out in the box. Simpson takes a 6-step drop, and then he tries to slide left, but he can't escape, and he is sacked. So these pass protection breakdowns, you're either getting incomplete passes or you're getting sacks. And one of the big reasons why he completed 54% of his passes and threw for only 122 yards in this game was pass protection issues. And they happened all night long from the first quarter through the fourth. Okay, now this next one, I mean, this one was kind of tough to watch. This is how close the Alabama Crimson Tide fan base came to seeing Ty Simpson get his knee blown out. It's fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 6. There's 5 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the game, and it's tied up at 20-20. Bama's in this tight, compressed formation with a tight wing to the right, and they've got the running back walked up behind the line, the offensive line. You know, I got to say this about these formations where Grubb or any other offensive coordinator compresses the formation. You know how easy that makes it for defensive coordinators to be able to pack the box and then do all kinds of wild shit in there, as opposed to spreading defenses out with 4 wideouts, because it defines the box and it defines pass protection so much easier for your offensive linemen, and it defines coverage for your quarterbacks and receivers. That's a show for another day. So Alabama's got this tight formation here, and Auburn's running a 4-2 and a 2-deep look, and they bring a safety blitz as well as crisscross blitzing both inside linebackers. So Auburn's bringing 7 dudes, and Alabama blocks with 6. Okay, guys, you can block 7 with 6, but this is what you can't do. As a quarterback, you can't hold on to the ball. And as an offensive coordinator, you can't be running intermediate or longer developing pass route concepts, because you got a dude that's running all by himself. Simpson should be taking a 3-step drop. It's a 4-step drop, and then he pats the ball twice. So an extra step, 2 pats, and the ball still isn't out. Alabama's center gets beat A-gap again, and that dude who's coming in low almost takes Ty Simpson's knee out. Scary, scary. So you got the center getting beat A-gap, the right guard doesn't block anybody, and the running back has really poor technique on this and pretty much pinballs off of one linebacker to another one. Okay, so Bama on the 3 receiver side, they're running a scissors concept and in a dig curl game. The tight end's running that slow ass shoot route. The blitz beater, they've got a blitz beater on this play, and it's their dude Horton. He's a single receiver to the left. He's running a vertical route. All right. Simpson holds the ball. Now, guys, you got your dude out there, Horton, right? He's running a vertical route. This corner's backed off. But here's the deal. And this is what you always tell your quarterbacks. You're not waiting for the receiver to get open on vertical routes. If he's even, he's leaving. And if you got a guy that can run, you got a dude that's 6'4", whatever, and can go up and get it, take your drop, get the ball out of your hand, lay it up, and go let your dude make a play on the ball. So they got this blitz beater. That's the guy Ty Simpson goes to. He just holds the ball too long. The pass protection is jacked up, and he almost gets his knee blown out. And then now Horton, make a play. You know, he caught 3 touchdown passes. I'm well aware of that. Go up and make the play. Get your 4th one. The ball bounces incomplete in the end zone, which moves us now to Ty Simpson's 4th best throw of the game. It's 4th quarter. It's 2nd and 11. There's 4:47 to go in the game. And again, it's still tied at 20-20. Bama's in trips right. Auburn's running 32 double ghost cover 0. Okay, now I'm going to say this one more time. I don't get this. If you're going to run a 4 receiver route, get 4 guys in there that can run. If you're going to chip with the tight end, just keep them in and have them pass block, because chip and release doesn't do anybody any good at all. Okay, this is another one of those where Auburn's bringing 7 and Alabama's blocking with 6. You got an unblocked guy. The right tackle's starting to get beat. The running back, again, has poor technique, so his guy is starting to slide off and come at Simpson. Simpson takes a 6-step drop and then a couple of little quick brace steps. That's like 8 steps, guys, and the ball's not out of his hand. They're running a snag route to the number 2 receiver, and, he's coming inside on an under route, sinking down and pivoting back outside. This guy is wide ass open, and the guy playing on him's got a 6-yard cushion. Now, I understand the down and distance on this and why you don't throw the snag. Okay, I kind of understand that. This is the way I'm thinking about this. It's a great route against man-to-man. You got a big cushion, so he's going to be unobstructed in running his route. You put the ball on him and hit him in stride, he has a great opportunity to catch the ball and outrun that guy and run for a ways. You put the ball on him and let him run, he has the opportunity to step out of a tackle and run for a long ways. All right. But Ty Simpson comes now to the deep out route. Plus, that's a quick route. That's a quick game route, and they're bringing 7, and you got 6 blocking. Get the ball out of your hand. He throws the deep out route, and he dimes it. Absolutely dimes it with a dude in his grill. Okay, now it's caught and tackled short of the first down, but in my opinion, this is Ty Simpson's 4th best throw of the game, which leads us to the play of the game. And guys, there is a whole lot of stuff going on with this one. This one also, in my opinion, is Ty Simpson's 2nd best throw of the game. Okay? 4th quarter, 4th and 2 from the 6-yard line. There's 3 minutes and 54 seconds to go in the game. And again, it's tied up 20-20. Now I'm going to start by saying this. I think Auburn's defensive staff was so sure that Alabama was going to kick the field goal, the chip shot field goal to put them up by 3, that they weren't thinking about what the hell they were going to call defensively. They were trying to organize their field goal block team to send them onto the field. You got the 2 pontificators up in the booth, Chris Fowler and my boy Kirk Herbstreit, and they're saying, all right, Alabama's going to go. They're going to line it up for the chip shot and take the lead. But head coach Kalen DeBoer, this was ballsy, and he didn't hesitate. They kept the offense on the field. Not only that, they lined up in empty, no back, 5 wide. Now, I'm absolutely 100% convinced that Auburn was so shocked and unprepared for this that they, in a hurry, just called some sort of defense where they had a 3-man front and rush. Okay, all game long, they'd been bringing 5, a ton of 6-man pressure, and a bunch of 7-man pressure. And on 4th and 2, the biggest play of the game, they line up in a 3-man rush. That wasn't the biggest problem. The biggest problem for Auburn was when the ball was snapped, a majority of Auburn's secondary guys didn't know what the hell was what they were doing. There was a lot of confusion in the secondary. So you look at the cornerback to Simpson's right. As Simpson's going through the cadence, he starts to move in towards the box and then suddenly he goes, oh shit, no, I got to stay out here. And he stops, right? Then you got the safety to that side, to Simpson's right, who's got his hands in the air looking to the sideline like, hey, what are we doing? What am I doing? What are we in? What are we playing? Right? But the biggest problem that Auburn had and what made this play happen was on the 3 receiver side. I don't think that they got lined up right over there. Now, there are 4 dudes over there playing against 3 Bama receivers. I think one of those guys shouldn't have been there. That's just my opinion. I think number 24, the guy that's lined up outside of the number 1 receiver, shouldn't have been there. I don't know. It just didn't look right. Okay. And then those guys to the 3 receiver side are playing like this. It's like a matchup man coverage where they're sort of sitting in areas and they're going to jump receivers when they come into their zone. That's what I think that they're playing. Now, Alabama's running like a semi-quasi bunch look with those 3 receivers. And on the snap of the ball, they scatter release them. Scatter release them, meaning you got a guy going outside, a guy coming off his ass to the inside, another guy coming off his ass to the outside or up the middle, and that scatter release screwed up the guy who was supposed to be playing Horton when he came inside on that shallow cross. So I'm going to play this back a few times. I want you to watch what this guy does on the snap of the ball. I think on the snap, his eyes were looking at the number 3 receiver who was outside releasing in that scatter release, and he steps outside as the ball is being snapped, and that gives Horton that window to beat him inside on that crossing route. All right, so you've got that. Now, on the snap of the ball, believe it or not, Simpson is keying right. And I think he's looking shoot route to number 2, which isn't there. And he slides his eyes to the number 1 receiver who's getting mauled. So they got nothing going on there. You can see him snap his eyes now to the backside, the 3 receiver side, and he starts by looking outside and then scans in until he finds Horton on that shallow cross. Now, he's able to do all this in a clean pocket because Auburn's rushing 3 guys, and they don't come close to getting to Ty Simpson. And the amazing thing, when he sticks this in there for the touchdown, I think Horton was Simpson's 4th look on this play. And what a throw. This is a tight, small window that he sticks the ball into here. And this is a clutch throw. This is the Iron Bowl. This is 4th down. You're trying to get to the SEC championship game. You got to make this throw. Boom. Stuck it in there. Tight window. Touchdown. Ty Simpson's 2nd best throw of the game. You know, before that drive started and after Auburn had just scored to tie it up 2020, I wrote down in my notes, Simpson, how are you going to respond? Well, this is how he responded. He took Alabama on a 75-yard drive, took 15 plays and 8 minutes and threw the game-winning touchdown pass. Okay, now, usually, guys, when I do these videos, I've got so much footage when I turn the camera on and just start blabbing that most of it ends up on the cutting room floor, and a lot of them are observations. But I'm going to try to sneak some of these observations in this video. Number 1, this game was sloppy. Now, I said that about the Oregon USC game last week, and when I say sloppy, you know, fundamentally, I just am really disappointed with some of the lack of fundamentals that I'm seeing in college football the last couple of years. And after Bama went up 27-20, there were 2 really glaring, piss poor fundamental gaffes that happened in this game, one by each team. Let's talk about it. Then we go to Auburn getting the ball back, right? And they throw a ball out to a receiver named Coleman, catches the ball. He's running upfield into traffic, and he's got the ball just like this, right here. All right. You tell your receivers, put that baby away high and tight. Forearm, hands, wrist, chest, high and tight. So you don't get anybody punching the ball out by sticking it out there and waving it around. Well, Coleman's waving it around and the ball got punched out. All right. Again, that's football 101, receiver 101. Bama stopped Auburn. Okay, up 27-20, and they got the ball back in an attempt to run the clock out. Okay, the problem was Auburn had all 3 of their timeouts left and basically forced Alabama to punt the ball back to them, right? Which they do. The Auburn punt returner trying to make a fair catch brutally misplays the ball. It bounces off the top of his shoulder pads or his face mask or something, and now the ball is on the ground. Number 17 for Alabama, this guy named Brooks, he had 2 different moments as the ball's bouncing around the field to just fall on it. He falls on the ball and it's game over, folks. We take a knee and we get to go drink beer, right? But on both of those occasions, instead of falling on the ball, he tried to scoop it while he was standing up, you know, scoop it and run. And the ball ends up being kicked out of bounds. That's just ridiculous. That is football 101 right there. And of course, Mr. Analyst Herbstreit says 0 about that. I mean, he said, geez, I can't believe Alabama didn't recover that. Nothing about, hey, you youngsters out there watching this game, just fall on the ball. Don't be a hero. Just fall on the ball. And fundamentals, guys, I think it's starting to disappear a little bit in this era of football. All right, let's talk real quickly about Alabama's snap count in this game. You know, in the first half, because of the crowd noise, they were doing the silent snap count where the left guard is looking back at Simpson. Simpson raises his leg. That tells the guard he's ready for the snap. The guard taps the center on his left leg, and as soon as that center feels that tap, he's snapping the gun snap, right? Well, that's all cool and everything, except it's a pretty good rhythmic thing that the defensive line and any blitzing linebackers start to pick up on and get that rhythm. And it was obvious in the first half that they were timing blitzes and rushes. Guys, when your offensive linemen are put at a disadvantage like that, where the D-line gets a jump on the snap count, man, does that hurt them in pass protection. So what happened in the second half? They stopped doing that, and they went to Simpson clapping for the ball, which is great because doing the clap for the ball, you can do freeze count claps, you can do fake claps, you can just mess with Auburn, doing something different than just getting into a robotic rhythm with that tap the center and he snaps the ball. And now they're off to the races with their ears pinned back on a pass rush. I'm just asking myself, going into this game, why didn't Ryan Grubb come into the game just doing claps? Okay, so with this win now, as I said earlier, Alabama moves into the SEC title game against the Georgia Bulldogs, and they've got a lot to clean up offensively. They got to get that pass protection stuff going in the right direction. Okay, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Did I get it right or did I get it wrong? All right, this is QB Unfiltered, and remember, always throw the ball short to guys who can score. See ya.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.